We're back.
We are here. We are here. Oh.
So just nice, easy 1-0 win against one of the big teams to take it and move on. Yeah, not much to say about it, really.
Take it and run.
Oh, mate, so on Saturday I was working and I'd set up my VPN, got it all ready so that because I finished at about 2:30, so I was like, okay, I'll start driving. I'll probably be back about 3:20. I can watch it in the car, and it just wouldn't work. So I missed the first 20 minutes of the game, which sounds like a good thing. Were you there? Did you see it? How bad was it?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, pretty poor start to the game, to be honest. Really poor. We was on the back foot from the very beginning. Sheffield United looked like why they were the best team or best informed side in the league, to be honest. They just absolutely battered us, kept attacking us forward. It was too easy to break down our defence and midfield. Wouldn't really go towards them, to be honest. It was difficult. And if it wasn't for Kaminski's heroics, it could have been game over very early on. You know, I think they had a corner, I think, in the first 17 seconds or something like that. And we was thinking, I turned to my mate next to me and I was like, Southampton at home again. But that's how it just felt. But yeah, it was just, they were by far the better team, to be honest, throughout the whole, you could tell that they were going to play us off the park. But Kaminski really covered himself in glory in that first half. He was phenomenal. Really good saves. But yeah, it was
considering like even after after our last show, there was a few people saying like Mannion did himself proud there. He should be in with a shout of starting in the league. I think Kaminski kind of just went, this is why you bought me. This is why you're paying me this is why I'm the most expensive player in the club. Like he has kept us in, and it's not the first time he's done it. I think the only thing was early in the season we didn't really need him because we were so good in the middle and in defence, and now it's proven like, oh yeah, we're actually a bit shit, so we probably need someone who can make saves like that. Not to say Mannion can't. I didn't think Kaminski's kicking was bad either. I mean, I think maybe I'd seen someone say that and I was like, oh yeah, Kaminski's shit. He wasn't. He's perfectly good at getting rid of the ball. Like his delivery, I think his delivery was pretty good. I mean, what a mental game though. I think I don't really know where to start. Like, I was thinking, what do we do? What do we talk about? It's kind of like, I mean, the sendings off. I think, right. I know they're going to they're appealing them. I haven't seen more stonewall red cards than that for a very long time. I'd be so pissed off if I was a Sheffield United fan or involved in the club at all with Tandanga's one, because it's so unnecessary. Like he's got his back to him. There's no reason for it. How bad did they look in the ground?
I mean, to be honest, I'd be if I was a Sheffield United fan, I'd be annoyed for the fact that they got a player sent off when they clearly had the momentum and they had the game in their back pocket. I mean, everyone was of the opinion after the game that had they not lost those two players, they probably would have gone on to batter us, to be honest. But that's if you're on that ball should be your uncle analogy, because that didn't happen and we won the game. But the first one looked bad straight away. From the second I saw KNIBBS rivaling around on the floor, I was like, that looks bad. And then straight away.
So were you going more off of KNIBBS's reaction? Because I'll be honest, when I watched it, I got back in time for that and I saw it. It didn't look as bad as when they slowed it down and you saw the replay. Are you going more off of KNIBBS's reaction, how bad it looked?
I mean, when the tackle initially came in, I mean, everyone's screaming ref because we knew it was late. And then I saw KNIBBS rivaling around on the floor and I'm like, he's caught his ankle there. And then seconds later, you see the ref doesn't even hesitate, goes straight for the red card. And I mean, I've looked at the replay back. I don't think KNIBBS really helps himself with how he goes into that challenge. Like if you're going into a tackle like that, you're expecting to get hurt, but he just completely mistimes that tackle. He gets none of the ball, gets all of his ankle, studs straight in the ankle, and snaps his ankle basically. Like I mean, you watch the replay afterwards, and it's just very obvious what's happened. But yeah, that was a stonewall red, and I know Sheffield United fans weren't happy with it because they had to go at the ref the rest of the game. But I don't know how you can protest that. And Tanganga's one is even more of a red card. I mean, Carey's back's against him. He's misjudged the head. He's gone for the header, but he's just misjudged it completely. And you don't lead in with your elbow straight like that, straight into the back of someone's head. It's the most blatant red card. And the ref didn't even hesitate. He pulled out the red card for that quicker than the other one, and that one was by far stonewall. And look, Sheffield United can try and protest that as much as they can. I'll be stunned if one of them gets rescinded, or even if both of them get rescinded, then it's a joke. But yeah, like you say, I don't think I've seen any more stonewall red cards in the last few years, and it was just mental to happen in the first 10 minutes, especially when we were chasing the game, and suddenly at half time we're thinking, right, let's make some changes, let's go at them and let's batter them. And that's, well, in essence what we did. But I think what we really have to come away from that is another injury, and looks like a serious one for Nibbs, which I'm gutted for him for, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's just got in a starting lineup, and I don't know how good he looked because I missed most of that beginning of the game. But I've just realised I've done this last couple of times. We haven't got an intro now. The copyright police have had a word with us and slapped us on the wrists a little bit. So unfortunately, I apologise for that. And I forget, I never say hello to anyone watching. So hi, thanks very much for tuning in. But I'll tell you, basically, the show came about because I was pissed off that Tyler wasn't posting anymore. I wrangled him back in here. I'm getting stuff, and then suddenly he goes and does 4 videos in a week last week. So I don't know if it's really. I don't know if I needed it bothered. He probably would have come back eventually anyway. But and anyone who's been watching the Chronicles, Charlton Live, Charlie stuff, this is very much not as professional as that. This is us just blurting out our thoughts about the game. And I'll be honest, I love talking to Tyler and getting your opinion on stuff, especially as like I said, I wasn't there on Saturday, and I love to hear your rants. There was a few good ones last week. We'll come on to those. But back to the game. What did you look? The big thing for me when I saw the lineup was that it changed that middle three completely now from what got us promoted and what started, not only what got us promoted, but what started the season so well. We didn't have Coventry, we didn't have Doc, and we didn't have Carey, and Coventry's probably the one that has been like, oh, I don't think that can be based on performance. And I think Doc actually did well against Chelsea. Because I think Costello's valid over Carey. I think that Anderson, we probably needed more bite in the midfield than we had. So I can understand that one as well. What did you think when you first saw that come out? Were you happy about it? Was that a bit like, I'm not sure about this? Because when you see our pass completion, and I want to ask you this question in the same one, the amount of booing was unbelievable, especially in like the second half. And for me, shouting at my TV wasn't about the fact that we were playing nine players. It was all about how sloppy we were being, how many misplaced passes there were. And that's nothing to do with Jones. That's just the players not being able to, not being at the level they need to be. But I think that shows how different you are when you have someone like Anderson, who's brilliant at winning the ball back, but God love him, he's not the best at playing the ball compared to Coventry, who seems to be, he's so good at that. So what did you think? Let's have a little look at the lineup. What did you think when you saw it come out?
I mean, I was excited, but also worried about the midfield. I think it was a very mixed sort of reception because, I mean, I like the fact that he changed it completely, considering that, the midfield's not been playing that well the last few games. So maybe a change was needed. But taking Coventry out, I think, was the big one for me because I felt we just lost that sort of, I mean, you would think we'd lose that sort of presence in the middle and there's someone that's there to do the dirty work effectively, get hold of the ball and then spray a couple of passes about, and that was gone. And then I thought, I mean, Anderson, a bit of bite, he doesn't stop running, that could work well. And he ended up playing that position. Rankin Costello, I don't think you can really argue with. And then Nibbs getting a go. I mean, I wasn't against it to begin with. Considering he's got a few goals lately and it's an opportunity for him to test himself, and Carey's not exactly been at the same performance level that he started. But I think it was very obvious from the first few minutes that we need Coventry in that midfield. Like you can't not add him there because we just played open too easily. Anderson, I love him because he doesn't stop running. He put in a few good tackles, but as you say, he can't spray a pass like Coventry can.
I don't think those two can't play together. I would say just put Anderson behind Coventry and you let Anderson win the ball back and just give it to Coventry wherever. Don't do anything clever with it. Just give it to Coventry and let him be the one to spray the ball around.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. I think ultimately that midfield trio, we probably have to say all round it didn't really work. I mean, Rankin Costello had a decent game. He got himself about again. He's definitely improved. And Nibbs didn't really see an awful lot of him in terms of, well, to be fair, that was for everyone in terms of creativity in the first half because we didn't have a shot on target in the first half, I don't think. I can't remember us having a shot. We were just so lethargic going forward, and Sheffield United had full control of the game up until the sendings off. But I just think that midfield three, I think ultimately that didn't really work. It probably wasn't the right opponent to play that three, but I mean, you're looking at the rest of the lineup and you probably wouldn't say otherwise. I mean, you're playing Lieberman and Kelman, aren't you? It was nice to see Harry Clark. Well, Harry Clark getting a start straight away was, I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about that initially, considering, I mean, he hasn't started or hasn't played a full 90 since March last year. So, it was chucking him in the deep end. And obviously, Bree at left wing back was interesting to say the least, I think. And then the back three, I mean, great that Ramsey's back, and you probably not changing Jones and Gillespie with Bell being injured and Kaminski being back. So all in all, I think it was excitement that there were changes to begin with, but then it soon became clear that it perhaps wasn't the right opponent to make those changes, especially in the midfield. Because I just felt for the most part we got overrun, and creativity again was lacking. Although the effort was there, I'll give Anderson and Rankin Costello their dues with their effort, because that was definitely there for me in the middle of the park. But probably not the right changes for that sort of game. Coventry's got to come back in.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's fitness, because he has played probably played close to every minute that we've played. Yeah. I can't think of a game he's missed really. And Doc, I thought, like I said, I thought he did well, but I think Doc would give you a little bit more nous in the middle rather than Anderson. But we have been crying out for someone like Anderson to go and actually win us the ball back, give us that fight. And Jones relied on Anderson a lot last season when we were in exactly the same kind of situation. He does that job where he just goes and wins you the ball back. I guess it's nice to be able to rotate him. Nibs in for Carey. I took Costello for Doherty. I think Costello's probably been the best midfielder we've had in the last 5-6 games, and Anderson. But I don't know whether you need to change all three of them in one game in such a key part of the position. I wonder if Anderson could maybe have gone to try him at left back. If you're not going to play Apter, if you're just refusing to play him, if it's like it's never going to happen, maybe get Anderson on that left-hand side instead of Bree. But I think it was maybe that one last chance to try and keep Bree at all costs, or at least try and get him back when the window shuts or something like that. Because I know Southampton made it really clear that they wanted him back, and that's why he's gone. So maybe that's it, and it'll be interesting to see who he puts there next week. Because, well, maybe we should come on to those two, the new boys, because obviously watch your video. Well, actually, before we do that, let's talk about the second half, because obviously they're going down to 9 players.
Yeah.
There just seemed to be such a... We started off like a goal within a minute. Brilliant. And it's a ball up to Dykes. He scores within 60 seconds of coming on the pitch. That's exactly what we've signed him for. Carey gets a goal, so you're hoping, right? Hopefully that's giving Carey that bit of confidence he needs to actually get back to where he was at his best. But I couldn't get my head around how everyone was so pissed off that we weren't scoring more goals, because I think... I didn't play to any good level. I played at uni and stuff. But when you go to 9, when you get 2 players sent off, all you do is sit in. Everyone just comes back. You just create a complete brick wall in front of your goal. You don't attack unless you get a chance to break. It's probably easier to break when you're the 9 rather than the 11, because all you're hoping for is that one chance. And that's what was terrifying us, like the last 15 minutes of like, oh God, like they've had a break now. They're probably going to score and leaving it up, and it would have been awful if we'd have had to let in that goal, because it would have just killed any kind of confidence we'd started to build. Like, you can't lose to 9 players. But I just couldn't understand. It seemed like everyone was pissed off that we weren't scoring more goals. Is that how it felt in the ground?
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. I mean, the changes we made for a start, I think it was obvious that we were going to try and put the game out of sight. Dykes comes on, TC comes on the wing at wide areas. We knew straight away, all right, we're just going to get the ball on the wings and just pummel their box for the rest of the game. And that's exactly what we've done. The first few minutes, Dykes wins the header, to bring down for Carey. That shows exactly why we signed him. That's exactly the reason why we brought him in. And I thought he had a pretty decent debut, all things considering. Carey's finish is brilliant as well on the first time. It's a great finish. It shows exactly his quality. And I was sat there thinking, right, here we go. We should really put the game out of sight at this point, and we should look to score a few more goals. I think that's what we all kind of expected, especially when you've got someone like TC who's just not going to stop running at them. But then it was mainly, I mean, the booing was embarrassing for me. I think that was just a step too far. I think it was ultimately the game plan was, get an early goal and just see the game out from there on, and just get the 3 points in whatever way we can. And ultimately, that's what we've done, and that's what we've got to be happy with. But I think it was mainly people were just pissed off with the level of the performance and how inept and out of ideas we looked going forward, because it wasn't like, we attacked them to begin with and we were having chances, but it was just so obvious that our only game plan was get the ball to the wide areas and stick a ball in the box, but we couldn't cross the ball. That was the problem. We're crossing them in, and their defenders are heading it away.
And doesn't that show why TC is better coming on, being an impact sub and playing slightly further up? because he can't deliver the ball like Aptar. He can't deliver, like Clark was putting in some lovely balls. We'll come on to talk about him in a bit. But Gillespie's the one. Gillespie has always been the best player at getting the ball in the box. Those diagonals he plays from left back or that left centre half into that's where that goal comes from. And for me, that's where Aptar, we're crying out for someone like Aptar, because now you've got someone like Dykes. If you can have Gillespie, I know no one would pick him if Bell was fit. I understand that. But if you can have Gillespie, Clark, and Aptar all trying to get the ball on Dykes or Lee Burn's head, and with Kelman or Godden, or it turned out to be Carey, we've got enough players that are good at sort of getting on that. I would think that's perfect. Why can't he see that? I understand get TC on and run at him, but maybe to bring TC on for, I mean, who was it who came off for him? Kelman, was it? I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but have him as one of the two up front rather than on that left-hand side.
I mean, it was just obvious that Jones just wanted us to just run at them, you know, and just try use TC to try and run at them and put balls across the box or cut inside and have a shot. You know, he wanted to bombard them, but that was the problem, because we didn't do that, you know, and we just looked very sort of slow to get the ball out, and I think that was the general frustration. And to be honest, I mean, I think it was the fact that we were on the whole for the entire game. It wasn't just the second half, it was the first half as well, how lethargic we looked. I mean, first half we were completely out of ideas. United bossed us up until the sending offs, and as I said, had they not had those two players sent off, they probably would have gone on and smashed us. But it's just, we just looked so out of ideas, and we looked like we had nothing going forward. Like even TC on the pitch, he'd get on the wide area and would just slow down and wouldn't know what to do. No one was coming towards him. He had a reluctance to get balls into the box, and it was just, that was the sort of frustration. Like I said, booing was a bit excessive and a bit embarrassing, which, to be honest, Jones walking off the pitch at full time straight down the tunnel probably justified. And I think his post-match interview was also justified. Yeah. He made some good points, understandably frustrated because ultimately we've won the game. But the performance was concerning for me in terms of how, even against 9 men, I understand, yes, they're playing tight, compact. They nullified us in terms of, you know, they had a game plan, you know, didn't they? Get the ball out and just hit us on the break. And they did that. It was the fact that it was only 1-0 and how poor we looked and how comfortable we seemed to be to want to see out a 1-0 when Sheffield United could easily have hit us on the break. And they nearly did, you know, several times. So I think it was that. I think everyone would have said, look, if we'd have got a second goal and then protected it, we'd have felt a lot better. It's just the fact that we scored the one goal, sat back and looked so poor for the whole game was just why so many people were so frustrated. That's just how it felt, to be honest. And yeah, that's all I'd say.
The only thing I disagree with is that I don't know if I think there was a lot of, I think we were a bit scared of them, and I think we were a bit scared at losing or drawing. I think there was a lot of that, like considering, like you said, how battered we were in the first 20 minutes. I think everyone was just thinking, do not lose this. Whatever happens, do not lose, because they'll turn on us completely. And maybe it was just nerves about attacking at the wrong time or something like that. And I was looking, I think it was in Rich Corley's South London press pod that they're trying to sign Ross Barkley at the moment. Ross Barkley's on 300 grand a month. When you think of that, and then you look at the lineups, I think that shows how different we are, because you look at how happy we sort of been a bit like Harry Clark's a decent Simon Dykes, I'm not sure about, but we're happy about it now because he scored. If we signed Bamford, Tandanga, me, like half of Sheffield United's team, they would be the biggest signing we've made in 10 years. Yeah. Like I can't think about, if you think about the level of excitement we got from getting Charlie Kelman, brilliant. That was someone on loan at Leyton Orient. That's probably the biggest signing we've had in ages. If you look to signing an ex-Prem player with Premiership experience who you know can deliver, I'd rather have Bamford than Dykes. I know he scored, but Bamford was a fucking arsehole. Like he was getting in around everyone, shouting at everyone. I'd love to have a wanker like that in our team, especially to play that kind of position. And to have someone like Ben Mee, who captains Burnley for God knows how long, playing at the back instead of Gillespie, I'd take that all day long. He started on the bench. Like the difference in these teams is colossal, like unbelievable. And when you hear Jones say it, you can go, oh yeah, it's a bit of an excuse, whatever. But I truly believe that Jones is 100% right. Like, look at where we are. Look at where we were and look at where we are now. And we all said, every one of us said, all I want to do this season is come 21st. If we come 21st and stay up, I'm so happy with that. That's not going to happen without being a bit shit. Like you're not going to come, You're not going to come 21st and win every game and be the best team on the pitch. Like, we have had shit results. We've had amazing performances against Leicester, teams like that, and lost. You can't have it both ways, and can't say, oh, we're going to perform amazing every game and we're going to I'd much rather play a bit shit and scrape through and win, right? Especially now, as that's, if you look at the table now, that makes us seem like so much more assured than where we were last week. I know the Norwich win kind of leaves it on the same amount of points, but if you look at the amount of places between us and the bottom three, I think that this is kind of what you've got to hope for, really. This is as good. I'm not saying this is as good as it could be, but I think we need to take a bit of a breather and go, fuck me, 1-0 against Sheffield United, even though they did only have 9 players. And like I've said, I actually think it's quite hard to play against that 9 players. It's probably harder to play against 9 than it is against 10, which sounds so stupid. But when you think about how they will block in, it's going to be so hard to pick a pass. It's like England playing Albania, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's going to, any of those shit, Albania might not be the best example, but that's what's been the problem with England for so long, is that it's so hard because they just sit back the whole time. And this is kind of the first time we had like experience in that, playing against a team that's completely sitting back. We hit teams on the break because we love it when teams come and play against us. We've got players like TC who can get past their man. That's what we love doing as Charlton fans. But that's not going to happen when you're playing against nine men. Sorry, I just throw a load of shit at you there. Make a question out of it or something.
I do make you right. I think it is important to have perspective. I mean, at the start of the season, if you'd have said we'd have got 6 points off Sheffield United, who are probably one of the favourites to go up, you'd have taken that hands down. And now we're level on points with them. And yeah, I think it is important to have that perspective. I mean, Jones, some people were very quick to say, oh yeah, Jones walking down the tunnel in his post-match interview, he's calling out the fans again, because some people very clearly have an agenda against him and want him out because they don't like him as a person. But the reality is, I mean, yeah, as I said, you'd have taken that at the start of the season. And looking at that position now, yeah, Norwich winning isn't exactly ideal, so we're still in the same position. But I mean, like I said, we've gained the position. We've overtaken West Brom. We've, the momentum is kind of back, but we got the 3 points. And as you said, we played better against Leicester and lost. So you're not going to have it either way. It's just the thing I would kind of counteract that is if we play the same way we did against Sheffield United against Derby and we get beat, then it's going to be like, all right, that's a bit concerning. That's a bit concerning. But look, at the end of the day, we had a game plan. We executed it. We got the 3 points. It wasn't glamorous, but we got the job done. And that's all we can really ask for. It's just, we kind of want to see a bit more, I don't know, it's just the fact, again, like, especially in the second half against 9 men, where, as you say, I know they make it tightly compact. It's just the fact that we were so slow to try and get anything going. That was
and the misplaced passes as well. Like, that was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the thing. Especially in the last 10 minutes where we started doing it and they're hitting us on the break. And I'm like, if they get an equaliser here, it just makes us look awful. I mean, a lot of fans were quick to say that we look crap, and that it's true, we were. But ultimately, I think it is important to have perspective and, look ahead. But I think we've just got to follow that up now, because we've got Derby and then we got them lot down the road, haven't we, on Saturday? So that's going to be telling. But yeah, I think it's going to be key. Keep the troops going. Shame we got KNIBBS injured, but the team's starting to come back again. Everyone's sort of fit. Godden being the big one, of course. But yeah.
3 minutes at the end of the game. I don't know if he touched the ball. I mean, it was great to see him there, wasn't it? And I guess
it was.
That, I guess you just hope he gets 20, 25, 30 minutes against Derby.
Yeah, it was. I mean, what I was worried about was because we took him off for Leeburn in the final few minutes when they had a long throw, and I was like, if we'd have taken Leeburn off and conceded on that, that'd have been like the most the reception was brilliant for Godden. Like from the minute dot, and even when he was warming up, we were singing his name, and it was just like booming. Like you could tell him coming back. I felt a little bit bad for Tanto in the sense that he got dropped from the squad completely, but I think that's quite telling in terms of where he is on the pecking order now. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out on loan, to be honest, because it's very clear. Godden's come back from a near career-ending injury and he's straight on the bench in his place. It shows that Jones kind of rates him more in this system than Tanto is. I don't think Tanto's done anything wrong, really. I know he hasn't scored as many goals as maybe you hope, but he has been great at just getting on the break and taking the ball in the court. Like he's quick, isn't he? And he seems to get past people. I don't know with Tanto, really. It's just I think he's missed a lot of opportunities that have fallen his way. He should at least be on. Well, he's got to be on more than one goal at this point with the chances he's had at this stage, which is the frustrating thing. And I do question. A part of me questions whether he's ready for this level yet, or just ready for that step. And if he goes out to League One and gets a little bit of confidence, and we can see how it goes. But yeah, I think it would. I mean, it shows how bad our summer recruitment was if we spend 1.5 million on him and he goes out on loan in January. So it kind of speaks for him. Yeah, same with Apta cost 2 million, and he could end up going on loan as well, and he's not playing. It just shows kind of in hindsight how bad our summer recruitment actually was. But yeah, good to see Gordon back. But yeah, it would be a bit of a kick in the teeth for Tanto to somehow lose his spot in the team that quickly and goes out on loan. It just shows, that we just got our recruitment strategy so wrong.
God, when you say it like that and you think you've already spent $1 million on Gassan, who is nowhere near anything in the team, that's a lot of money they've spunked up the wall, isn't it? I mean, sorry, there's so many better ways I could have put that. Sorry. Yeah, when you think, Apta's still the one that I think deserves to be in that starting lineup.
Yeah, totally.
There's nothing he's done in a Charlton shirt that wouldn't give you that. And I guess for Tanto, he looks like he's got a decent future ahead of him. Do you blame the creativity a little bit for that? Maybe he hasn't had the chances, or is it just a case of no, he's just not up to it yet?
I potentially blame the creativity with that in terms of the service that he's getting, because we're not necessarily, I don't know, we're not an attractive team when it comes to creativity. We haven't got any, really. And Tanto does put in the effort, especially off the bench. He runs about, gets his body about, but he's, like I said, he's had countless opportunities. He's had one-on-ones, he's had chances to score, which he's blundered. And as I said, I think to be honest, he should be on at least about 5 goals at this point with the chances that he's had. So I think it's a combination of us not having a lot of creativity and giving him the service, but also him not taking the chances when they have been afforded to him. So I think it's just a combination of things. But I think there's still a place for Tanto in the squad. I think he can be useful. But if Jones wants to try and keep Godden fit and integrate him in the team, and well, clearly he's put him ahead of him in the pecking order, then maybe it's wise to send Tanto to League One, score a couple of goals and reassess in the summer. But yeah, like I said, 1.5 million on a summer signing to then go on loan 6 months later is not a good look, and it's not the first time.
Gun to your head, you got Mbik, Gassan, Kanu. Let's say you put Tanto out on loan. Who's the one that comes back into the team and makes an impact next year? Is that the only strikers we've got on loan? I think it is. Oh, I think there's isn't Casey as well? I
Dixon's on loan as well. Dixon's at Crawley,
yeah. But out of those out-and-out strikers,
well, you'd naturally probably turn to Tanto, wouldn't you, if he went on loan and scored goals? Because ultimately, we paid money for him in the Championship. But then looking besides that, I think you are probably looking at Kanu as probably the next one to make the step up. He's having a phenomenal...
Scored again at the weekend, didn't he?
Yep, he's having a phenomenal season at Walsall. If they go up, which they should do, really, then he'll be brimming with confidence. It's an opportunity for him to step up. Obviously, stepping up 2 leagues seems a bit daunting, but coming off a great season, I think it's an opportunity for him. I'd even throw in Bick in the equation as well, a chance for him. He's had a great season at Colchester as well, probably a bit more raw than Kanu is, but to have his first proper taste of professional football and have the season that he's had, it just shows how strong of a potential he's got. So if I'm looking past Tanto, who I think is probably the most likely, then yeah, you're definitely looking at Kanu and Bick. Dixon needs to start scoring goals regularly to even be considered, and Gassan just isn't there. So yeah, that's how you can see in it, I think.
I think if you're looking at it as well in terms of what we got, Kelman scored, he's scoring, but again, his performance against Chelsea and now against Sheffield United, I don't think they've been good enough. I don't think he's done enough. And I don't know if you blame that. I don't think you can ever blame it solely on a striker's shoulders, because the creativity needs to be there for them to miss the chances. But I don't know. I didn't see anything from him on Saturday at all, really.
Yeah, he's been missing, isn't he? Just gone. But I didn't even know he was on the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what he did. And when he got hooked off, I was like, oh well, it signified, that we needed to make the changes with the sending offs, wasn't it? And it was obvious what our game plan was. But yeah, it's alarming. I think to come off 2 goals against Blackburn and to then go completely missing against Chelsea and then against Sheffield United, it's not exactly a good look. And it kind of, well, you probably do continue to start him on Tuesday and give him another shot, because Godden's still raw. You can't rush him into a start. But then you've got to ask the question, I don't know, do you play TC next to Leeburn, or do you bring Tanto into the fold and start him? That's a question you need to ask, because Kelman, those last 2 games, they have been worrying, haven't they? He's been nowhere. He's been completely nowhere in games, and it's a worry.
Consider, and again, it's not all about the money, but when you consider 3.5 million,
yeah,
well, that is a lot. That is a lot of money, and it's considering our highest ever sign, I think, was Jason York, 4.6.
Mm.
That's not far off that, and we're
No.
a lot further down the line. And I mean, they obviously put a lot. This is the problem, isn't it? You got owners that are happy to spend money. You got a manager that's happy to, like, is coaching a decent, with the best we've been for fucking ages. Is it just a recruitment? I mean, like, is it just down to who's bringing these players in? Because from what I understand, Jones is a big part in that now.
Yeah.
Is that just a flaw he's got? Do we need to get a director of football in?
It's probably something.
Or do we already have one? We've probably already got one, haven't we?
I'd imagine we do. I mean, it probably is it is definitely a recruitment thing, isn't it? Because I think since this new ownership has come in, I mean, 23-24, yeah, Jones joined midway through that year, but even just looking at the recruitment from that season doesn't exactly paint, you know, a big picture. I mean, off the top of my head, you're looking at what, Tedic, Abankwah, Louis Watson was a flop. You're looking at who else you got, Terry Taylor, Tayo Eden. You know, they're not exactly big hitters that have done well. And then last season, you're looking at what? Well, like Alan Campbell was a disaster, you know. Dan Potts kept getting injured. Gassan come in that season as well. You know, that's a bad one. And then this season, you know, we spend $1.5 million on Tanto and he's potentially going on loan. We spend $2 million on Apta and he's on the bench. We spend $1.7 million on KNIBBS, who's now probably out for the rest of the season. You know, and then we got Burke and Bell, who, while have been brilliant, keep getting injured. Rankin Costello's only come good now. Charlie Kelman, $3.5 million, and he scored 4 goals and he's gone missing the last 2 games and has been for most of the season, despite putting in some decent performances when, you know, off the ball. So I think recruitment is definitely, like, we've got owners that are happy to spend the money. That's clear, you know, and Jones obviously probably very obviously has a key part in that. But in hindsight, there's a lot of our signings that have not come off, particularly this season when we spent a lot of money. So it is something you need to look at. Is it Jones? Are we giving him too much? I don't know, too much responsibility because he's clearly got a lot that haven't exactly delivered on the price that we've paid? Or is it the people that are around him and the scouts that are seeking out these players? I mean, you look at Apta, for example, we spend $2 million on a player that doesn't even fit the system. You know, that's instantly a big red flag.
But he did. I mean, he started the season, didn't he? Like, he started. It was him, and you looked at him and Carey playing together. You were like, Jesus, we've just bought a cheat code. Like, this is unbelievable. Yeah. They know, but for whatever reason, I think maybe he was Jones's second choice after Bree, and then Bree comes in and takes him out of the squad. He just hasn't been able to get back in again. That's the only thing I can think, because that's the problem, isn't it? You can blame the recruitment, but we're called Luton 2.0 for a reason. Half of our players that have come in are ones that Jones knows already. You can't say he's the best coach in the world and shit at knowing his players, because maybe it's just that the players aren't delivering. God knows what. But let's talk about that. So we're on recruitment. Let's talk about the 2 new boys. So Harry Clark, first of all, because we did our show after he come in. You did your video on him before we did the show. What did you think? I personally, I thought it was a really great performance. I thought he was like Bree was in those first couple of games. He looked like he was dynamic, getting up and down the pitch, deliveries into the box, and quick deliveries into the box as well. It wasn't like he had to wait for ages. He would just wrap it around the back. What did you think? How did he look in person?
Yeah, it was a solid performance, solid all round, to be honest. I think, he did defensively well. He now won a couple of headers. And I think the main talking point I took away from it was the fact that we've got a wing-back who can actually stick a ball in the box, which I think is what we've been lacking for the past few games. I mean, I know Bree defensively has been rock solid, but what we'd probably agree is that he doesn't necessarily put a ball in the box an awful lot of the time, and his set pieces are dreadful.
How were they on Saturday, by the way? I didn't see many of them.
Carey.
So they were better against Chelsea, weren't they?
Yeah, Carey took them. They were a lot better. Well, the Crosses beat the first man, that's for a start, but you know, they definitely could improve. They definitely could improve, that's for sure. But I was glad that Bree weren't taking them. But yeah, back on Clark, I think his balls into the box were pretty decent. You know, you could tell that they can be quite deadly. There was one in particular in the second half. He put one, I think, just across the floor, and Dykes has come sprinting in and narrowly misses it, trying to take you know, if them two link up, that's a fantastic goal. So I think there's definitely, you know, reason to be excited about Clark. I think it's a smart addition. You know, he's got that experience and he's still young at 24. And I think he covered himself in glory with that game. I was a bit nervy that he played the full 90, but he was clearly able to do it, which is good. And put in a decent
fit, wasn't he? There's no reason not to play him if he's fit and ready to go, and also seemed like a better quality than what else. I guess then it's like, are you looking at him against Apta now? And I guess he's more assured defensively. I still don't understand why Apter can't play in that forward position that we started him in over the. Because did he start on the left and move to the right, or did he start on the? He started on the right, didn't he?
He started on the right, and then he played on the left against Oxford. So that was the last game he
Yeah.
started. So that's probably the question for the next game now with Bree gone, because I thought initially it was going to be Clark against Bree, and that's what I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
And then we would address the left side. Now that Bree's gone, I mean, Jones has kind of hinted that he's going to still look at it, so he's still going to have a look at trying to get him back from Southampton. But if Southampton want to use him, then there's nothing we can really do about it. Which is why I raised concern when we signed Clark, because I thought if Clark's coming in as Bree's replacement, it doesn't really fill me with much confidence, because we need as much depth in those areas as we can. I mean, technically we have it in Apter, but for whatever reason, Jones isn't playing him. So I think against Derby, if Apter doesn't start on the left, which you would think is clearly what we need to do because Bree's not there, if you're not starting Apter, he's never going to get in the team again. And I just feel really bad for him. I don't see a way that he gets back in.
Is there any world? I've just been watching Ted Lasso, so I'm kind of full of stupid football ideas, and I can't see this happening. But is there any world where you just go? And I guess it's kind of off the back of United as well, going to Carrick and going 4 at the back. Do you not just go 4-4-2? Is there any world where you go, right, we have Ramsey and Jones at centre back, you have Clark and whoever at left back, Gillespie maybe, or God, you can't play him at left back. But then you could actually have 2 wingers in Campbell and Apter, and then Dykes or Miles and Kelman up top with Coventry and Costello in the middle. Is that a thing? Could that happen? I guess not. I can't see Jones going to that. I don't think he'd ever change formation. But would that not work?
I think if he changes it to a back 4, it'll be 4-3-3 rather than 4-4-2, because I don't think we've got the midfielders to play that system. I mean, Coventry is a natural 6, isn't he? And then you've got, I think Costello could probably play that position in a 4-2-2, but then you've got 4-4-2, sorry. But then you've got Carey, who's a 10. If you play him as an 8, for example, I don't think that works as well. But I just think we've just got to try and find a way to utilise the wingers, because I think if we played TC in his natural position, we'd get a lot more out of him. And the same with Apter. I want to see Apter play in the forward area. It's just, who do you play as the lone striker? Do you play Kelman and bombard the box with him, or do you play Leeburn or Dykes? That's a question you need to ask. And the other issue, another glaringly obvious problem, is the left back, because we don't actually have one right now. Because Gillespie cannot play left back; he's too slow. And Bell's injury is not as bad as it is, but he's currently out, and Edwards is out long term, and we haven't really got a long term solution for that. So if we were to change it, I wouldn't be against it. Do you maybe go Ramsey at left back, and do you play?
He can do it. He's done it before.
He can do it exactly. He can do it. So. There's questions as to whether you change the system to get the best out of players, but I just think Jones knows the system that works, and you can't blame him for that. It's just Apter can play that wing back position. It's so obvious that he can, and like I said, if he doesn't play on the left against Derby, he'll never play again for this team. I'm convinced. There's just no way he gets in the team, and I feel so bad for him.
Maybe now you just go, right, maybe now's the perfect time for you to get back in on the left hand side. You've got Harry on the right hand side. Perfect. Let's just go for it. But
two players that are quick and can cross the ball.
Yeah, especially with Dykes, who looks like he's going to win headers, and with a little. You can't blame Miles for not winning headers. He's been brilliant at that.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about Dykes. Maybe it's just because he's a new shiny thing, and covered in toes. The guy's got too many toes. I'm going to say there's too many. It's just
excessive, isn't it?
It's distracting. It's too much. Let's come on to him though, because there was obviously you did your show last week, and there was a few comments under the Dykes video. So Charles should integrate well with the team. Not necessarily a great scorer, but a good contributor. We saw that straight away.
Yep,
I think that's pretty much what we expected and we're hoping for. We're going to get right. So, sorry, I mixed these up a little bit. This is from the Dykes video, and I think you were talking about creativity and who to bring in. Maybe let's come back to the Rakzaki stuff, and we'll keep going through the stuff mainly about Dykes, because it is something we need to talk about. Who's going to come in? Then I won't pick that one either. Like I said, very good at this technical stuff. Label them up, Sam. Label them up. Right, here we go. What's this? It's going to be another Rakzaki one. Oh, that's just someone saying you're doing a really good job. Buzzing about the Dyke scene in no easily plead. I think that's fair because I don't think anyone was that excited. I certainly wasn't excited about it until Leicester were looking like they were coming in for him. The one thing that I think that I was excited about was when he talked about how much he wants to get in the Scotland team.
Yes.
When he said that, I was like, right, now I know, because that's what I thought Jones had done really well in the summer. He signed loads of players that had something to prove and wanted to play up a level. And it made so much sense. You want to pick players that are motivated to play at this level. The downside of that is they haven't got the experience to play at level. So you need a balance. But with that complete motivation to get in the Scotland team and the experience of playing in the Championship for a good long time, that seems like it ticks both boxes.
Yeah. That's what excited me the most from that, because I watched his interview and then he proved that by, I think, smashing into someone within the first few minutes of playing. Like, I think he gave a foul away before winning the header down, and I was sat there thinking, this is a man who wants to be at that World Cup, and he's not gonna stop until he gets that. So that, I think, as you say, ticks a lot of boxes, and that does excite me because he is a player that clearly wants to do his best. And not only that, but he's also fighting for his future because he's only here to the end of the season. Beyond that, he's a free agent. So he's not only fighting to get into the Scotland squad, he's fighting to keep his career alive effectively in the Championship. And I think if he's going to play like that, he's definitely got a place in this team. And I think that header to set up Carey's goal shows exactly why we signed him. And that's why I wasn't excited either, because I still think we need a goal scorer, and I don't think Dykes is that. But he's shown his quality, and the fact that he's that motivated, you can't really go wrong, can you?
No, and I think that's the big difference that he's got to someone like Connor Wickham, who came in, playing his last few games, trying to get a paycheck. He's clearly got another season in him, like at least. Like I can't see him falling away. So if he can deliver, like, I'm sure we'd take him with open arms. He seemed. We'll talk about a bit more how he played in a second. Mate, this is from Rob. Mate is a QPR fan, had nothing positive to say. Complete opposite to when we signed Kelman in the summer, because those two played in the same team, didn't they? I didn't even realise that. So they've already got a bit of a communication, a bit of chemistry together. Looking at his goal scoring record, don't think that he was the signing. Think this signing was necessary. But I hope proven wrong. Great to have you back on a regular basis. 4 times a week is very regular, mate. You're doing very well.
That is very regular. It's unheard of.
But I think he's right. I think, like, it depends what you thought we needed, because, like I said, we already had big strikers that weren't scoring. I guess it's just that Miles was winning them, but Kelman weren't getting on them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the difference. Maybe that Dykes one was just a fluke. He'll never do it again. But it looked like a really clever header. He looked like he knew where Carey was going to be. He looked like he'd read it. It didn't look like he just put it anywhere. It looked like he really, it didn't look like luck, basically.
No. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. That's his experience shining through. I think Dykes was mainly brought in to take the workload off of Leeburn because he's played a lot recently. And ultimately, I don't think we have another big lad besides Leeburn who can do the job that he's been doing the last few games, and now we've got it in Dykes. That's the reason we signed him. Yes, his goal record isn't exactly brilliant. I actually thought his goal record, looking at his stats, his goal record at QPR wasn't actually that bad. I felt he scored a decent amount of goals. It's the Birmingham time that obviously is a bit worrying, but then again, you're not going to start ahead of Jay Stansfield and Alfie May, are you, who are banging him consistently.
But Birmingham loved him, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Birmingham was really positive about him.
Because he put the effort in, he scored some important goals by the sounds of it for them. So, that's probably the reason why. And he was brought off the bench for the most part. And I think most Birmingham fans are quite upset that he didn't actually get more time with them. But ultimately, when you've got Stansfield, Alfie May, Kyogo Furuhashi, he's not going to get ahead of them, But it was obvious that he was a decent signing, a very good signing for League One level. But it was obvious that he just wasn't going to get in their team. So, I don't think his record at QPR was that bad. He's not a goal scorer, but like as we said, that clever header to set up Carey, that's what his role is going to be, and that's why we signed him.
Yeah, 100%. Do you painting by numbers, looking at it being maybe oversimplifying it? Is he just a new, better Chucks?
It could, yeah. That's probably how I'd describe it.
A big bully who kind of is going to. I mean, Chucks was maybe he was a bit more of a cheat code, especially at League One. But he looks like he's going to be that kind of player, doesn't he?
Similar sort of build, yeah. But I think more with Chucks, for example, I mean, he was just so physical to the point if he got the ball to his feet, you couldn't get the ball off him. Whereas I think with Dykes, it's just going to be punting the ball. I mean, I don't recall Dykes even touching the ball with his feet, to be honest, or having the ball at his feet or running at someone, which I think is that'll be interesting to see how that goes. You know, in a situation where he gets the ball at his feet, what's he going to do? Because I feel like he's mostly more, you know, he's more of an aerial threat more than anything else. But yeah, I think with Chucks, he kind of was the full profile. He was just never fit. I think with Dykes, you know, he's got the aerial threat and hopefully can keep himself fit, because he seems to have done that the last few years, just kept himself fit. So hopefully that's...
He definitely looked like he can move around a little bit more than Chucks, especially towards the end as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like watching a tugboat at times with Chucks, but he was a lovely bloke.
He weren't the quickest, was he, Chucks?
We loved him to pieces. So yeah, all right. So anything else to say about Dykes? I mean, the signing came in, you did the video. I bet you were a bit like, oh, fuck me, another one's coming, bloody hell, I've only just done it. Can't we just do them all in one go? How was it? Did you just feel inclined, or are you now just back? Is Tyler just back? Is that?
I think I just felt inclined, because I mean, I'd done the Clark one, wasn't it? So I thought, you know what? I think this is just a staple to say it was back. Was a bit frustrated that it came that day though, because it was like, oh, I mean, I did it a day late because I was going out that night. I think I said in the video, so they went out on the Friday. But yeah, I think I just felt inclined to do it. I mean, I knew Dykes was imminent. It was obvious that it was coming pretty soon. Yeah. So I kind of had a suspicion that it would be coming within the next day or so, and it came that day, and it was like, yeah. But yeah, it was just, yeah. I mean, I enjoy Addicts Editions. I love that series, and it's good to get it out there.
We know you love it, mates. It's your favourite one. You've said it enough fucking times. Jesus Christ! Just tell me to go. I'll just go. All right? I'm joking. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a great series, and it was great to sit back. And I hope there's lots more for the fact that we just got lots more players coming in. But yeah, two big comments there I've showed by accident. The fact the Raksaki thing. Is there any chance of it happening, do you think?
I mean, I think every Charlton fan would love it, wouldn't they? We'd absolutely love Jez back, and he's obviously been recalled from Turkey. I don't know why he was sent to Turkey. I mean, there's obviously championship interest. I think Swansea's the one team looking at. I think actually, I remember reading, I think Swansea agreed a deal, and then they've backtracked on it, and they don't want him now. So I think that's
right. Oh god.
So if anything, he's now back on the market. I think Sheffield United were one team looking at him, which is not surprising. He was there last year and did really well. And I think we made an inquiry for him in the summer about it, which clearly shows that he's kind of on our radar. If we pull it off until the end of I mean, we're not getting him permanently. Palace are going to want so much money, and he's on high wages. If we can negotiate a deal for the end of the season, I think everyone would take that. The problem is the system we play and where Raksaki is going to play. Are we going to play him as a wing back? Because I would hate that idea, to be honest with you. Him having to play the. I mean, we know what he can do in League One. Put him in his natural position. He tore that league to shreds, especially in the second half of the season. Do you play him as a striker? You know, does that work, or do you play him potentially in midfield as a 10? You know, or do you change the system if Raksaki comes in? That's a question you need to ask. So I think creatively, yes, he would be the answer. It's just how realistic is it going to be that we get him, and where is he going to fit in this system? Because I'm looking at the system that we play, and I just have alarm bells ringing for Raksaki, simply because I don't think we're going to get the best out of him, especially if we play him as a wing back. I just don't think he'll just suit that role at all. Yes, in the attacking sense, because he can put a ball in the box, cut inside and have a shot. He's got the confidence. It's the defensive aspect, which is where Aptar has kind of struggled and TC has been struggling. So that's my main area of concern. But yeah, if we signed him, brilliant. But what system is he going to fit into?
So what is it that we need then? Because like you said, we've got basically two players in the squad that aren't playing in their best position, and they're probably being underused. And then you've got someone who is brilliant like Raksaki, and we're now saying that it might not be the best system for him. What do we need? Do we just need someone like a Carey to be better at playing the ball, or because I'd say, well, then you've got Costello who's good at that and doesn't seem to be able to be doing it. Like what other than a left back, a proper left wing back, what is it we're looking for?
We just need to have more of an idea rather than just punting the ball long and to Lieburn and hoping that it sticks. You know, we need a bit more creativity from the midfield, especially, I think, because we're just not having enough balls that are being played to the strikers to their feet or played out to the wing quick enough. We're not fast enough. That's a start. But we've also just not got the creative outlets. I mean, Carey, Carey, I think I said it in the past, he is a player that just runs at someone and will just have a shot. And we know he's got a demon of a right foot shot. But it's just in terms of his other creativity and taking players on, it's just not there. So we just need to find that. And I mean, if you're sticking with the system we have, you need wing backs that can you know, that are comfortable with going forward and coming back and putting balls in the box and being creative with the midfield. That's just what we need. You know, we just need more creativity, particularly in the midfield, and just stop, you know, being route one, because we can easily get found out. And I don't think there is a plan B with that system. That's one area of concern for me. But Jones likes that system. That's the way it works. And I think, I mean, as I've just said there, if Rak-Sakyi was to come in, I think everyone would be like, oh my God, yes, that's fantastic. But then you've got to think, will he actually fit the system and the style of play that we're playing right now? So it begs the question, something needs to change. You know, the midfield needs to be, you know, moving the ball more fluidly. The attackers need to have the ball to their feet a bit more, link up a bit better, rather than not Lieber knocking headers on and not winning them. You know, that's just what that's what we need, really. But, you know, I think if Rak-Sakyi come in, I think everyone would say, yeah, thank God.
I mean, when you looked at the team we had when Rak-Sakyi was playing at his best for us, you had Blackett-Taylor on the other side. So you had the two of them basically causing havoc either side, and then a big man up top. But if you go three up top and you're going to play five at the back, you can only have two in the middle, can't you? That makes sense, doesn't it? So I guess what you do then is you would say, right, what we're going to do is change it to Miles or Dykes up top. You'd have Rak-Sakyi and Tyrese left and right, which has got a problem with. You immediately say Apta's never getting in this team again unless maybe he gets in a right back or left back. And then you have someone like Coventry or Doc in the middle, but then you lose Costello as well.
Yeah.
But you do that kind of could work. I think it's just that we're playing two up top at the moment and facilitating Kelman, because I don't know if Kelman would get into that sort of formation if that did happen. But that was when I think we were kind of at our best, our most potent up front. You know, Jones came in and he made us really strong defensively, which is 100% what we needed to do. But thinking about recent years, I think that was the best kind of forward formation we had. So, you know, it can work. It's just you've got to, and maybe that's it. Maybe you just need to have plan B and C. Maybe it's mental to think that, but maybe these players need to be able to play in a few different formations. That's
something you do need to consider, I think, especially if we was looking at someone like Rak-Sakyi, that's something you'd have to consider. And when we signed Apta, you'd think we were considering that, surely, you know, because we know that when we signed him, surely you would have thought, we know he doesn't suit the system and it's not really going to work out. And it's become apparent, you know, Jones has not really changed the system unless he's been forced to because of injury. And we know from the past that we can't really play as a back four. So it begs the question, you know, what do we do? I mean, my thinking was maybe, I don't know, if you're sticking with the same similar sort of system, you take Carey out, who's a 10, and then you play three up top and allow someone like TC or Rak-Sakyi, if he did come in, to sort of drift wide and give him that freedom to do that. That could be one solution, but then you leave us, you know, open in midfield. Because, you know, I don't think our system or players that we have work as a two in midfield. So it's complicated. You know, it's a headache that I think we all wanted, but it's just, there comes a point where surely you need to sort of change something and bring some players into the fold, because I mean, Apta's crying out to play. We know how good he can be, and he just isn't. And if we are looking at someone like Rak-Sakyi, I don't think it will happen. But if you sign Rak-Sakyi, you've got to look at changing something, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. Last thing on the transfers then, any other rumours or anything you've heard? I mean, I'm keeping an eye and I haven't seen anything particularly.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, mainly just the Bree stuff, to be honest. I mean, I know that we're keen on bringing Bree back, and personally, I think I would take him back purely because of cover. I feel a lot of people were probably in agreement that, you know, Bree probably got harshly criticised. I think defensively he was pretty solid and he had his experience. It was just the fact that going forward, I mean, he started instantly well, and then that just dropped off, and his creativity just sort of went. You know, he couldn't put the ball. His set pieces were terrible. But if you actually look at the job that he was being brought in to do, which was to be a solid at the back, he did that, and he was probably a consistent 7 out of 10 in terms of the defensive aspect. So losing him is a hole to fill. It's like I said, if Clark is coming in as Bree's replacement, that has me worried, because if then Clark breaks down with an injury, which he has done in the past, we're fucked. You know what I mean? So if we can get Bree back to the end of the season and then reassess, or look to replace him, you know, that's the thing. We need cover. We need another right-sided player for me now. We need a left wing back. Wouldn't go amiss with a centre back. I've just seen that Zach Mitchell's coming back from loan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's come back. Richard Cooley reported it. It's literally about an hour ago. So
interested. Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Interested to see what happens there if he sticks with the squad, or we loan him out again.
Well, he's left-sided, isn't he?
I think he is. He left-sided?
I thought he was left foot. I thought he played on the left side.
I think he's right-footed, but plays on the left. I'm not sure. Or has played on the left, but I don't know. But that'll be interesting to see to see how that goes if he does get minutes. But I imagine if we loan him out again, we won't send him back to Scotland because that just didn't work. We'll probably go send him to League One, but yeah. And then another creative option midfield, I don't think we'd go amiss either. And if we loan out Tanto, then you've got to look at maybe bringing in another striker. I don't know. There's still a lot of
bringing back one. I think
or bringing back one. That's another one. But then that's too much pressure on someone like Kanu, who probably is the number one candidate in it to bring back. You're not bringing back Aslan, are you?
Not while he's playing so well. Right, we're quickly running out of time. So just a few comments from the last show. Let's have a little look. So Stuart Mannion also got the ball, so it wasn't a penalty yet. He played well. And again, I'm bringing these up and probably doing it in the wrong order. But I think that is one thing that we can say is that Mannion did play well against Chelsea. It was. I think everyone was kind of like, oh, we could be starting. And Kaminski did that well. You go, oh no, yeah, we've got it the right way around at the moment. Yeah. That's fine.
Showed exactly why we signed him and exactly why he's been underrated and pivotal to this team as well. I mean, Mannion covered himself in glory at Chelsea, but I've always stood by the fact they are being comparable in terms of quality. I mean, it's probably a bit closer than we maybe thought it was, but Kaminski's a better keeper and he proved that. I mean, his shot stopping was quality against Sheffield United and he's kept us in games several times. That wasn't the first time he's kept us in games.
I think the nice thing is now, if Kaminski goes down injured, I don't think anyone's going to absolutely shit themselves. I think we know we've got cover. At least.
Yeah, Mannion can do a job, yeah.
Sam Covington just saying how good we are and Charlton put up a fight against Chelsea, which is lovely. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. I don't think you could say that about both the Chelsea game and the Sheffield United game at the moment. Yeah, Charlie said there. We do. I mean, there was I don't, like you said about lethargic. I thought we put in effort. I just thought we weren't very good. Like, I just don't think we were very good at moving the ball around. Like,
just too slow.
Addressed that as well, Sam. Thanks, mate. We did lose the intro, and I'm working on it, and hopefully there'll be something coming back. I just need we just need the music, the video, and sorry,
need copyright-free music. That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, if anyone wants to write us a nice theme tune, that would be nice. And the old Tyler Rowlandson is back. There we go. You were missed, mate. You were missed, and everyone's.
I was. Yeah, it's good to see that people were still thinking about this and the channel and bringing it back. But yeah, good to be back and back. It'd be very rare if 4 videos happen again in the space of a week and we have another chaotic week. But you never know. This week we could sign a player every day, and it's like, oh god, got to get videos out every single day.
It was a bit of a sort of collection of fuck ups, really, wasn't it? Because we could, if we had timed this. Like a day later, we probably could have done the Dykes one at the same time. Yeah. If we'd done it a day earlier, we would have been able to do the Clark one. And if you hadn't have felt so strongly about the Chelsea game, you wouldn't have posted that. But I was delighted to see it. It was interesting to see you not put one up again about after Sheffield United, actually, because considering how many talking points there were, how emotional the crowd got. It was a. There was a tunnel jump though, wasn't there? Which is, at least that's good to see. Like
there was, yeah. As I said, I think it was very telling that Jones went straight down the tunnel because we was all waiting for him. He comes towards the cover and he goes, right, and he's already down the tunnel, and none of the players did it. And I thought that was quite telling. But there was a tunnel jump. I think Carey and Dykes did it. Dykes, I don't think quite really knew what he was doing to begin. I mean, Carey obviously. I mean that'll come when it from Dykes. But yeah, it was good. It was good to see that. But then I think, as we say, I think Jones's reaction was probably justified from the way that was from the way the fans were. But hopefully Derby's a little bit better from the crowd and maybe from the team as well.
Well, it's always the vocal minority, isn't it? It's never the guys who are just like, oh, that was all right, that you hear from. It's always the people like, oh, fuck me, that was awful. And I can understand being pissed off with the ball not being played well enough. Like, it just wasn't. We weren't making good enough passes. And ultimately, that's the players' fault. But you look at the training as well, because that's where they're learning it. But you learn that at school age. Do you know what I mean? How to pass it to another person. Yeah. I guess the thing with Jones, and we've said it so many times, if this spurs him on to do what he did last year, keep shouting, throw shit at him, get sheep on the pitch, whatever you need to do to get that man rolled up to give us the performance. I probably shouldn't have said that. It's quite racist, but I'm just saying, anything you need to do to get Jones pissed off and get us going the way we went last time, brilliant. Keep doing it as long as it gets him spurred on. But maybe that could just be throw a nice like a nice bit of poetry on the pitch, or a rose, or like a heart-shaped pillow or something. Teddy
I think
bears.
someone pointed that out on X after the game. I think at this point, this time last year, we were 12th in League One and look nowhere near the playoffs. And then look at the run we went on. You know, it just shows that a rocket up the backside is maybe all we need. And I love the fact. I mean, Jones hates criticism. He hates it. You know, and it's very obvious. And I feel like if we suddenly turn a corner and we beat Derby tomorrow, then he's gonna be like, oh yeah, fans love that now, didn't you? You know, it's gonna be like that because that's what Jones is like. But yeah,
I think, and that's the thing. That's the mental thing, isn't it? I don't think this is a game in the hand that we've got tomorrow. But
no, it
with
isn't.
3 points, just looking at it, we're 3 points off of Birmingham, and we've got a game in hand against Birmingham. We've got a game in hand against Swansea, and we've got a game in hand against Southampton, who are all above us.
And so that's against Portsmouth, isn't it? So that's going to be very.
So is that might be the game in hand then?
Pompey is the game in hand, yeah.
So and they've actually got a game in hand against us. So that again, it's another 6 pointer, isn't it?
Crucial.
It's another 6 pointer. And I said that about the last one. We won that one. So fingers crossed we can do it. Right. Yep. We have run out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Tyler will probably be back in about 25 minutes with a new video. But I will see you next week. Like and subscribe, guys. And maybe don't report all the awful things I said in that one. That'd be nice. And look forward to seeing you next week.
Take care, guys.